Good morning, people. This is Tuesday morning, the day after Labor Day. I hope everybody had a safe weekend. Nobody's dead, I hope. But I just want to get into some first things of the week about real estate. I want to talk about the newbies, the new wholesalers in the game, on how to talk to sellers to get houses in contract, okay? The first thing I want to say is, a lot of you guys, you call me up about properties and it just seems so scripted. Like, it doesn't even seem like you're a person that's buying a property. I think a lot of people need to go over how you talk to people over the phone and act like you are a buyer, not a wholesaler. You get on the phone talking about why you're selling the property. I could close in 2 weeks. You haven't even seen the property yet, and you're not even trying to build a rapport with the seller to convince them to sell the property to you. So I think a lot of you guys need to just get on the phone, be natural, and act like you're really buying something. A lot of times I get these calls, these emails, these text messages about, I want to buy your property. I could close in 15 days. And I'm just like, really? You didn't even see the property yet? And also what I started to do, I do not tell people I could close in 15 days and 30 days no more. The best thing to do, I think, is to try to draw out the contract as long as possible. Not, what you do with the seller. Like one guy I met who's more seasoned than me told me, he said, I put 6 months on my contracts. He spreads them out. He put a 6-month date period on it. So that will stop other people from trying to steal the deal from you. So when you have a contract that's 30 days or less, an investor comes, he talks to the seller, he waits 30 days, and then if you don't sell it, then he try to convince the seller to give him the deal, But if you have it stretched out for 90 days or 6 months, people are not going to wait that long. They'll forget about the deal. And also, it gives you time to really find a buyer. 'Cause sometimes you may not find a buyer in 30 days. Like, I had a last deal I put 2 months on the contract, and I closed it in actually 34 days. So it was like 4 days after the 30-day mark, So I think the best thing to do is try to put on the contract. Don't promise no owners, no sellers, oh, I'm gonna close it to you in 15 days. Say we're gonna try to close it in 30 days or less. Worst case scenario, it may go into a couple of months because things take time. Some people may come with loans, So that's one way that I started to do or structure my deals better, is I'm not telling people I'm closing in 15 days or 30 days, because a lot of times it don't happen. Sometimes you could close in 2 weeks, but depending on what market you in. When you're in a market like New York and you're dealing with $500,000-$600,000 houses, most likely people not coming with cash in 2 weeks. You can. I just closed a deal. I did a deal like that. But a lot of times these deals, which we guys are talking about out of state, going for $20,000 and $30,000, people got that in their account, they could close in 2 weeks. But when you're dealing with high-end markets like New York or LA, you could close in 2 weeks. But a lot of times when people will come in with $500,000, $1 million, they really want to inspect that property and make sure they're getting the deal, because nobody likes to lose $500,000 or $1 million. I don't care how much money they got, So that's what I started to do with my contracts. I spread them out more, 60 days, 90 days. Try to do 6 months at least, because you never know. But at least you have something in contract, so at least you can find somebody in 30 days. It still gives you more time, and it keeps investors away from the deal because it's taking too long. They don't want to wait 6 months to see if you sold it or not. By then they forgot about it. They own other deals, But a lot of times when you're doing these contracts for 30 days or less, there are vultures out there that are waiting to see if you close it or not. And if you don't, they're going right to the seller and they're trying to snatch the deal from you. So the best thing to do is put 60 days on the contract, 90 days. And if the seller asks, like, look, I'm just putting that worst case scenario, but we are going to try to close this in 30 days or less, So that's just a real estate tip of the day I'm trying to give you guys. As far as marketing, I still do things like Facebook, Craigslist, you know, I put up bandit signs that I'm selling houses, and I get calls all day from those, you know. So that's a good way to find a lot of buyers for properties. It definitely works. Like, I put up bandit signs saying I'm selling my house. You're gonna get calls all day long, you know. Don't just stick to Facebook or Craigslist, you know, or Instagram. You know, that's if you're in the town where you have a property at. Now, if you're doing virtual wholesaling, you might have to get somebody to have boots on the ground there to put up those signs for you. And trust me, it'll work when you're trying to find buyers. Trust me. All right. So I'm giving you the real estate tip of the day. A couple of things, and all your newbies, get on the phone and act like you're really buying something, you know. Stop with the scripted thing, like I close in 2 weeks. I read it off top when you're a wholesaler. I'd be like, you're a wholesaler, aren't you? And you know, because it just sounds so scripted, it doesn't even sound like you're a person of interest who wants to buy something, you know. It just sounds like the scripted lines of, why are you selling the property? I could close in 2 weeks, and you come in with a very low ball offer, and that's not, most likely not going to happen, you know. And please, people, also too, with Zillow, don't let Zillow scare you or think they're going to give you a good offer on your property. They are definitely not going to give you a good offer on their property, you know. I seen Zillow come to me. I had a property going for $440. They trying to offer me $275. And I'm like, you're not going to get somebody to do that for you unless they very motivated, they're in a crisis, and they're trying to get rid of their property, you know. But Zillow, stay away from Zillow. There's estimates only based really on the things you type up on there and you put as details of the property, what they give you as estimate on, which is really not real. I really just go by the comps of the area, and that's what gives me what the property's really worth. I don't go by Zestimates. Zestimates are cool, but they don't really work all the time. They're not always accurate, you know? So I'm just giving y'all some tips of the day. My barbershop. Y'all can also stop by Universal Look. It's at 823 Park Place, Brooklyn, New York. Check me out, universallook.com. That's the website. Come by any day, kick it with me about real estate. I have free one-page contracts here and assignment contracts for you to do your deals. All right? Have a safe day, people, and I hope you get these deals done.